I think for a first film, it's really important that you represent what your style is, your tone, your view of the world. In many ways, I mean, I don't write, so it's not 100% just my voice. It's the voice of a lot of people, including Rita Carnier, who wrote it. But it's definitely my type of humour, and the very complicated nature of the relationships and the characters is something that I'm always trying to explore. And I love to make people laugh in moments that they don't expect to. And that's what I think people are quite surprised that this is a comedy, because when you read what it's about, you can't imagine that you'll be laughing through the film, but it is very much a dark comedy. I mean, because I've directed a lot of television and before that theatre, it still really had the pressure of being a first film, you know, because there's a huge expectation in cinema compared to television. Even though television is still and is becoming more and more cinematic, I think it's still there's high expectations with a film, for sure, and that it needs to operate on many levels, and you are the creative engine, whereas of course with television it's much more a producer's medium in many ways. But that's changing. They're wanting film directors to do television a lot more now, because they do want a very strong vision, but also because audiences these days are much more demanding. You know, they want things to change, they want to not be ahead of the story, they want to be challenged. So I think the two are starting to merge a little bit more, but cinema is still incredibly special. Like you know that. That's why people go to the cinema to watch it. It's a more kind of sacred experience, I think. I have really intimate relationships with my creative team. The costume designer I had worked with before, and the editor I'd worked with before. But the cinematographer I hadn't, but I've loved his work for many years, Andy Commas. He does very different work. All his films look incredibly different. He's a real artist and interpreter, and I like that because that's how I want to be. I want all my projects to feel and look quite different. And the music team I had worked with before also, so we had a shorthand and we knew what we all liked, so that was very helpful because we had quite a short amount of time to make it and create it. We made it in February this year, we shot it. It's definitely not a teen movie, is that what you mean? Like, yeah. No, Baby Teeth is not the genre that you might think it is. You know, it's not a teen film, it's not a teen first love romance story. It's quite a lot more than that. And I think my aim was always that it would appeal to an older audience, but also I love that teenagers are also very excited by it, because I think, you know, teenagers are very astute and they're very intelligent, and if you can connect to them and nail their experience, then it's very exciting, because it's not an easy one to get right, you know, especially when you're older and you're not a teenager anymore. But I think that time we all remember. It's very electric, very visceral. All your ideas and images are very vivid, and so it's an exciting time to be falling in love and dealing with very big existential questions about your life. And so the combination of all those things is really explosive, which is what makes Baby Teeth so interesting, and I think quite overwhelming but exciting to watch at times. Look, this is all very new to me, getting to do the festival circuit, and my gosh, I had no idea how amazing it is. And what happens is once I think you start to experience how amazing it is to be at Venice Film Festival or Marrakesh Film Festival, all you can think is, gosh, I can't wait to make another film, and I hope it gets into these festivals again, because just to be around so many other amazing filmmakers and to have so much discussion and critique of the work, and to have people talk and analyse your work is the best. Yeah. Yeah, look, I always think comedy is a pretty amazing way to get people to get on board and connect to something that's really difficult. And I think it's also just the way people naturally are in the world. Often, you know, humans, when they're in very difficult situations, they don't just walk around looking really sad all the time, you know. And I think even with political work, I quite like there to be an element of comedy in it. But that's definitely what drew me to Baby Teeth, the fact that you were definitely laughing at points that you didn't expect. Yeah, I love that. I like to make things funny. I can't help myself, so that's the other thing. Yeah.
قبل ما تخرجوا ما تنسوش تابوناو في لاشين يوتيوب وبارطاجيو هذا الفيديو مع اصحابكم، وما تنسوش ديروا جيم الموقع إحاطة على شبكات التواصل الاجتماعي.